So OxygenOS 14 is here, and compared to OxygenOS 13, it's a slight bit of upgrade, but there are some really interesting features on offer. While some of those features are original, there are quite a few that have been inspired from iOS as well. So I'll talk about all of that in this video. And of course, if you have a OnePlus phone, this is going to be very, very useful for you. So if you're here for the first time, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. So first things first, OxygenOS 14, the stable version is currently running on our OnePlus 11. Some people have started getting the update. So first things first, in the smart sidebar, there are two new additions. The first one is the file dock. So you can use this file dock to save all of the important images and documents that you want immediately accessible. Now, both with the file dock and the recent files, you can actually drag and drop them into any application. For example, if you're using WhatsApp, you can just take an image from the file dock or the recent file and send it as a message to your friend. Now, another new addition to OxygenOS 14 is the fact that you can stop the battery charging at 80%. Now, this helps in increasing the battery cycle count and of course the longevity of your battery as well. But you must be like, hey, I've seen this somewhere before. And yes, it's already there in iOS. Talking about features that are inspired from iOS, smart suggestions. While OnePlus phones don't have a pill notch, the dynamic island can be implemented in the software, right? That's exactly what OxygenOS does now. So when you use a timer app, or if you have the screen recording on, or if you're ordering something from Swiggy or Zomato, and when you minimize the app, it goes into a dynamic island-like mode. Say, for example, if you minimize the timer, you can pause the timer and stop the timer from there itself. And of course, you can open the app as well. And with Swiggy and Zomato, you can see how long the order is going to take. By the way, Smart Suggestions is not limited to the notch itself. It's available on the always-on display as well. And the iOS inspirations don't end there. Did you notice that the home screen now has a search toggle? Similar to when you unlock your iPhone and you see the home screen, you will see a search toggle. Yes, you can search whatever you want from there, including the apps in your system. So you don't need to go into the app drawer to search for apps now. Search directly from there. Now, one very useful upgrade that's come to OxygenOS 14 is that you can set app-specific refresh rates. On our OnePlus 11, we could set the refresh rate for all the apps that are available inside our phone to 60Hz, 90Hz, or 120Hz. There's a new carbon footprint always-on display that has also been added, which actually kind of looks good. I don't know how useful it is or how much you care about it, but what it does is that it tells you how much carbon footprint you've saved. You'll get a percentage indicator of how much CO2 you have saved, and it is calculated by the number of steps that you walk each day. There are also 20 new ringtones inspired from nature, and they're called aquamorphic ringtones. Some of them do sound good, but this is very similar to the nature-inspired ringtones that was there with the Samsung Galaxy S3 when it was launched. There's also a new font called One Sans. There used to be OnePlus Sans before. Now there's One Sans as well. But what we noticed is that OxygenOS 13 also has One Sans. So I'm guessing that One Sans has rolled out to, OxygenOS by default. Now, Link to Windows, if you wanted to use it on a OnePlus phone, you would have to download the Microsoft Link app. Now you don't have to do that. It's built in to OxygenOS 14 itself. So you can control your phone, check your messages, all of those things. Now with the Photos app, you also get quite a few features. For example, if you have a series of shots that you've taken, like burst shots, you can actually select all of them together and make a GIF out of it. And of course, OxygenOS would not want to be left behind. You also get smart cutout like you can do with Samsung and Apple, which means that if you take a photo of a person, you can cut out the photo and save it in the file dock or directly put it in WhatsApp or however you want to use it. Now, one AI-based feature that has been added in the Photos app is called Auto Pixelate. Now, say for example, if you have a message that you take a screenshot of, and if there is some sensitive information in it, with the Auto Pixelate feature, it is smart enough to sort of identify the sensitive information and pixelate it out. For example, faces are blurred out and sometimes even numbers are blurred out. And if you feel that it's not working properly, you can also manually do it. I actually do find this very, very useful, especially when I'm sharing documents. Now, if you're taking a screenshot on OxygenOS 14, you can not only extract text, but you can also extract images. And you can actually extract those images, keep it in your file dock and use it for later. It's pretty useful and handy, but not entirely fresh or novel. You know what? You tell me first, who was the first one to do, extracting text using on screenshots in the comment section below. Now, there aren't too many changes in the camera app, but one specific new addition that we saw was interval shooting. So in interval shooting, what you can do is basically you can set the number of pictures that you want to take in the number of seconds that you want to take it in. For example, you can take 40 pictures in 7 seconds and the phone will do it for you. Now finally, since OxygenOS 14 is based on Android 14, there are a couple of Android 14 specific things that you can see, which is the Android 14 Easter egg is of course present, and the predictive back gesture also is present. and the predictive back gesture does work well, and we've seen that it works well on the OnePlus 11 as well. So these were all the features that we found to be useful and new in OxygenOS 14, but there is not a whole lot that has changed. Having said that, quite a few of them I found them to be pretty useful, especially the file lock. So which one did you find useful, and do you think it's a huge upgrade over OxygenOS 13? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.